Hi, I'm Mac McCarthy and I help people with their breakups. I just got a new story in. I'm turning them around as quick as I can, as fast as I can, because otherwise I fall behind and then it becomes like a 7 video day. So I'm getting consistent. And I think people appreciate that, okay? So please visit writemac.com if you got a story to tell. Let's get right into this one. Hello, Mac. Hello. Hello, you. I am a 20-year-old biology pre-med student at the University of Texas. Hook 'em. I don't know if that's like a slogan over there. To give some background today, we have marked mine and my ex's 3-year anniversary together. Congratulations. Growing up, I excelled academically, but could not attract girls because I was overweight. Well, that's fixable. That's something you can actually work with. And the fact that you excelled academically is attractive to a lot of women. So that's a good thing. I just actually had a coaching session, and the guy, I talked about this in another video, and the guy was like, I'm not good with women, coach. And I'm like, okay, so let's flip this around. What are you good at? I don't know, I'm not sure. Actually, I'm an outstanding student. I've gotten a 4.0 all through school. That's attractive. So where are you meeting women? We went from there. So you have to get away from the overweight part. Okay, overweight, I need to start going to the gym. But what do I have going for me? I'm an excellent student. Some women will appreciate that. Before junior year, I started bodybuilding. Still huge into it. I look damn good at the moment. Well, good for you. I'm happy that you got the confidence. And people started to take notice, including my ex, who was a senior at the time. After realizing she wanted to be more than friends, I took my shot. And a few months later, we were dating. Between then and now is a long story, but a vast majority of it was packed with joy and growth together. That's a great comment. Growth is huge in a relationship. That is why high school and when you're in university together, I've said this before, you're growing together. You're both in college. You're both going towards a degree. You're both taking 5 or 6 classes a week. Sometimes you both have a part-time job. You're sharing the same struggles, if that makes sense. You're sharing similar goals, similar schedules. Really, if you go to the same university or school, you're on the same team. So there's so much involved in that. And then when you get out of university in the real world and you both get different jobs in different fields, it kind of just goes whoosh. And sometimes it's hard to recover from that. In that time, our relationship flourished despite facing many obstacles that typically cause teen relationships to falter, like enduring long distance for a school year when she went off. Well, long distance, it just depends on the commitment and how far is the distance and how often you are able to meet. And how well each individual is with jealousy. Because if someone is one of those that gets jealous really easy, then the long distance doesn't work. If you have an understanding, like don't ask me too many questions, because I don't want to get defensive, then it doesn't work usually. I would consider both of us to be very mature for our age. With that in mind, we took our companionship seriously. Companionship, I haven't heard that word in a long time. Cool. We had unwavering trust and devotion towards one another. Unwavering trust. Wow, that's a great relationship. Growth and unwavering trust and devotion towards one another to the point where people anticipated marriage in our future. So people or you would be my question. After basically living together that summer, we took on the college life with ever increasing infatuation for each other. Infatuation can be a little bit dangerous. Infatuation is almost too strong. You still have to be living independent lives, because when you're that close, you got to be getting your alone time and your friends with separate friends, because if something goes wrong, you want to be able to have a few other buckets filled up, if that makes sense. So the first 3 semesters, everything was going according to plan, except the rigor of my coursework required a lot of my dedication that I used to allocate to her. See, if you were infatuated with each other and then, a big block of your time was sucked up, that's a big loss for that individual. Fast forward to a few weeks ago. Okay, as I studied tirelessly with the drive to provide for us one day, she starts indicating that in general she wants to experience new things. This is her age and the fact that you're in a university. It's not personal, by the way. And she would frequently about the fun time she had at such and such treat, and now she's 21. She's just experiencing stuff for the first time, and this isn't personal. It's just she's going out with friends, and she doesn't want to report to you probably. She wants to see what it's like to be a 21-year-old, go out drinking and not have to call you up and tell you what she's doing and where she's going. Having never been a partier, I would always refuse these kinds of invitations and remind her that that's what her friends are for. Then after a Friday night dinner date, we go back to my place about to do the, and she starts bawling. She tells me that she's been having doubts about us and how she doesn't want to settle down without seeing what else is out there. Now that sounds harsh and fucked up, but in a college environment at 21 years old, she's telling you the truth. And you want to, don't try to reshape that. Take those words for what it is. It doesn't mean she doesn't like you. She just wants to, and she's 21. She's at a point in her life, you don't want to hear this sexually, where she probably wants to experiment a little bit and meet some other guys. And what can happen in this situation is she can meet a few other ones and just realize right away, oh my God, you are such a catch. But she's telling you the truth. I told her I was all in, but that once I had doubts in the past that I worked through. Anyway, she followed through with her desire for independence. I pleaded a little over the phone, but realized she wasn't changing her mind. I still had labs to finish. Having communicated at all with her since 3/2, so that's 5 days ago, but it's incredibly difficult and distracting. I want her in my life as a SO, nothing less. So I don't know what SO is. I'm sorry. Help me with that. I'm capital letters SO. Girlfriend. I'm still coping with the devastation, but other girls are already reacting to the news of my availability. Well, then you have a high value. Should I anticipate the call saying she made a mistake or take it as a sign to end the chapter of my life? Great fucking question to close it on. And great writing, by the way. I mean, this very clear in what's going on. You got a good head on your shoulders when you said, anyway, she followed through with her desire and independence. I pleaded a little over the phone. Hey, most people would, but realized she wasn't changing her mind. Smart move. And I still had labs to finish. Put your work and your school first right now. I know that sounds bad, but that's what you have control over, and that's a great goal to have. And the fact that you are biology pre-med student that excels academically, that is very attractive to other women at school, and you're a bodybuilder. So that being said, it's only been 5 days, and I know you're going to miss the hell out of this girl, and there's a good possibility she will come back, but your best move is to move on at the moment with no contact. And you're not doing no contact to get her attention or to get her back. You're doing it because you're a strong, independent individual that excelled academically and is a bodybuilder and is a good catch. And she needs to realize that on her own. And she might have to date a few guys or have a few drunken nights. You don't want to hear this. And experience 21, 22 years old and see for herself, well, it's not all that what it's cracked up to be. I really miss our Friday nights with a movie and ice cream or whatever it is. And she needs to go through that. She needs to see what it's like without you telling her that she'll hate it or without you telling her to come back. She needs to figure out that truth on her own. In the meantime, if you feel like you want to go out with some of these girls, don't pour, I know it's only been 5 days or a week. Maybe that'll get your mind off things. And the fact that you're in a university, a big one too, University of Texas. Geez. At some point, now some people would tell you, if you just want to get her back, especially at that age level, if she sees you with another attractive woman or another good catch, she will call you immediately at that age and you're past. And then she might play the same game with you where she tries to post pictures on Facebook and things like that. I don't subscribe to that because I think it's weak and needy behavior, and you're not solving the problem of her sowing her oats or seeing what it's like to be on her own. But if you did do that and you wanted her back immediately, that's going to get her attention. Women are always in competition. So the minute she felt like, okay, I don't have that door open anymore, that's the time that she probably would come back. So I would say if girls are interested and you're interested in one, you think she's cute, but you don't feel like you're ready, just go out on the date with no expectations. Don't talk about your ex if you can. And see what happens. You're a young guy, you got a lot going for you. And should I anticipate the call saying she made a mistake or take it as a sign to end that chapter of my life? That's a little bit dramatic at this point, but There's a good possibility that she could call and say she made a mistake because you had a great relationship. There's a good possibility, but you don't want to wait on that. So when you say sign to the end or take it as a sign to end that chapter of my life, I don't think you need to take it as a sign because that's really dramatic and harsh. I think you need to take it as a sign like, you know what? You want to see what it's like to be 21 and single? Let me see what it's like to be 21 and single. Let me embrace that. Let me go all in on that. How about if you look at it like that? And it was her idea, so you're not doing anything wrong to her. And if you can, I know at your age you guys are all over the Instagram, Facebook, the Snapchats. Try to stay off that shit because that's just ex-warfare. Okay, I hope that helps you. Please visit writemac.com if you got a breakup story and you want my take, or you want to book a live coaching session with me. Thank you and have an outstanding day.